And I said to him, look, I'm sorry for your loss, but I just assumed all foxes were flying foxes. Kurt,
Yes.
what have you got for us today?
Well, now I've got the Green Beret from Max, which is an IPA. Which is a just a more robust, stronger version of a pale ale. Consider it pale ale's big brother.
So it bullies pale ales, steals their PlayStations, records over their memory card saves on Sonic the Hedgehog.
Absolutely.
Like you're dealing with a lot of stuff with your older brother.
Yeah, so as I said, stronger flavours. So where are we getting that from? We're increasing the alcohol by adding more malt to the brewing process. And obviously the more malt we get, the more sugar we make, convert during the mashing, and then we convert that sugar into alcohol in the fermentation process. We add hops in the kettle. Dry hopping is where we also add hops in the whirlpool and fermenter. And what that does, it has less exposure to the heat of the boiling process. So rather than extract all the bitterness out of the hop, we're actually just getting more of the flavour and aroma. Again, we use Nelson Sauvin, Amarillo and Simcoe hops in this beer. A larger portion of that crystal malt as well, which actually balances it out and brings the bitterness back a little bit, just to balance it out, make it more drinkable.
So an IPA is an India Pale Ale?
Absolutely.
Not an Indian Pale Ale?
No, I call it India Pale Ale. Yep.
Where does it get that name from?
So time for a long story. I'll try and keep it as
time for a long
I
story.
can.
We're in a library. We are literally in a vessel of long stories.
Of long stories,
There's a book
absolutely.
there called The Maid of Buttermere.
Yes.
That is a long story.
Certain breweries decided they'd start making what they call stock beers. And these were beers brewed, or basically pale ales brewed, with higher alcohol, higher hop content, so they could store them for long periods of time. And not far away from one of these breweries in London was the East India Shipping Company. And one particular time they bought some of the stock ale. They got to their destination and realised that the beer they had actually survived the trip really, really well. So about 50 years later, the Calcutta Times reported on this particular type of beer and called it India Pale Ale, hence its name.
So we got
50 years without a name. That beer over there.
Yeah, and actually in that part of the world, that's probably all you were getting as well.
So I guess if you've only got 1 year, beer is a solid name.
Should we jump in?
Absolutely.
So you're saying this one's got a bit more hops and the more hoppy, more intense flavour.
Even more so than the Hop Rocker?
Yeah, so different level. This also has that malt sweetness coming through from the crystal malt as well, but definitely more than Hop Rocker. So Hop Rocker sits about at 4 on the scale, this one's at 6. So we're boosting up a bit. That's not just bitterness. Remember we talked about the flavour as well, the
savoriety. Is that a word?
Complexity.
Yeah, it is now.
Savoriety? I'm going with it.
Yeah.
Savorousness.
What do you think?
It's more floral than the Hop Rocker, but I find it easier to drink almost. Even though it's a more savoury beer.
Yeah, I've had that before actually, because you've got that malt balance. So beer, or good, brewing's all about balance. Okay, you can go as far as you want with hops, but there comes a point where it becomes pretty much undrinkable. That's why we need to add these less fermentable malts in there to balance it out, bring a bit of sweetness to the beer. It's kind of an interesting one. It's a bit softer on the palate, although it's more intense.
So where does the Green Beret sit on the flavour scale?
It sits at a 6 at the moment. Obviously, we've got a little bit of room to move, but yeah.
Goes higher than a 6.
It actually goes to a 7.
Oh,
Yes.
do we have a 7?
Actually, we've saved 7 for something special to celebrate our birthday of 35 years. We brought out a new beer, which I can show you now if you like.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
I'd love to see a 35th birthday beer.
And here it is. This is called Mac's Birthday Suit. And this is a double IPA. So again, all we're doing is expanding those flavours, bringing in more malt again to bring the alcohol up. And also, we've actually added more hops to this one. This actually has a combination of 6 different hops, all combined. Okay. All adding 1,000 different flavour compounds each. So when we're talking about
6,000.
complexity, yeah.
Quick maths, thank you for keeping me up to date.
Nailed it.
So when we talk about complexity, this is getting right up there. That's why we reserved number 7 for this bad boy. So
I can completely understand the name then, because getting naked on a 35th birthday is a complex issue.
Oh yeah.
There has to be 6,000 different things to occur for that to be a good option.
There is nothing more utterly defiant than a naked 35-year-old.
would you like to try it?
Absolutely.
I'd love to.
Nice word. So this beer also employs those dry hopping techniques as well.
I know a bit about dry hopping, having eaten hops raw recently. Very dry experience.
That is a special occasion beer, that one.
That is one to savour.
Absolutely. And you can probably get the understanding around the savour side now. So complex, really, really full-flavoured, lovely things going on, a whole lot going on in your mouth all at once.
One to sip while mulling the universe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's That's a mouthful that makes you stop and think. A robust beer for a robust conversation.
Absolutely.
What does it all mean, Kurt? Why are we here?
We're here for this. To understand more, to appreciate, and to enjoy.
That's a good enough reason for me.
Cheers.
Lovely.
Was there a naked bear on the front of the bottle?